Chair Pritchett, Vice Chair Pierce, and the entire Petersburg City Public Schools Board of Education. Again, I'm Yolanda Brown, the Acting Superintendent, and I think I came to you all about 32 days ago. With 32 days, I've been in place 32 work days as of today. Seems like it's a lot longer because time seems to fly. And so I'm excited to come back and provide you with an update on my 100-day plan, a new era of visible learning, accountability, and care for all. And so just before we get started, I want to remind you that I went through my 5 priorities for my 100-day plan as I enter into the division as your acting superintendent. And so tonight I want to give you just a quick update on some of the things I've been doing in each of the 5 priority areas. Some I've been able to address, some have not, but of course this is a 100-day plan, and so at different times I'll be focused on different areas. And so with that, next slide. So just as a reminder, the 5 priorities that I've shared with the entire community with a time frame. And so what that means is I'm letting you know that I've done those things within the first 30 days. Some of the tasks will be done within the second 30 days or within the final 30 days. And so here you're going to see the time frame. You're going to see exactly one of the steps that I included in the original plan. You're going to see a status update. Ms. Yates, if you could scroll, you'll see green, yellow, and red. Really easy. So green is almost pretty much a complete. Yellow is in progress. And of course, red means I haven't started yet, depending on what the task is. So is everyone clear on that piece? Thank you. So we'll go back to the top. Thank you, Ms. Yates. And we'll start with priority area 1, which was the action of 1.1, to be visible and present in the community. So if you scroll over, Ms. Yates, you'll see some of the things that I've completed. You see that it is green. So just to let you know, I attended 2 community meet and greet sessions, one at Cool Spring Elementary School and then one at Vernon Johns Middle School, where I got a chance to meet lots of the community members, our partners, our city officials, and of course our board members were there. I got the opportunity to tour the Virginia State University with Dr. Abdullah, and I got a chance to meet with several of the Virginia State University staff and students. I've got the chance to tour the Crimson Clinic at Petersburg High School to kind of better understand the offerings and services for our students and families, and if we're taking advantage of that, what we need to do differently to make sure that we can do that. I got a chance with the board, with the entire board. It was wonderful. We toured Code RVA Regional High School, and we also got a chance to tour Maggie L. Walker's Governor's School, and we also got a chance to tour together the Appomattox Governor's School, which is really important for me coming in as acting superintendent to understand what are the offerings at other school campuses that our Petersburg City Public School students are taking advantage of, and how do we support that. And so that was wonderful to be all over the city in our city with the Board of Education. I also got a chance to meet with our Petersburg High School marching band during the first day of band camp. I was over here visiting with the Crimson Clinic, and so I met our wonderful students, got to meet the drum major, all the woodwind instruments, all the brass students, all the dancers, the flag girls. All of them were absolutely wonderful, and I'll tell you, our students are absolutely amazing. They're amazing kids that we don't tell the stories of their work and what they do, and so it was exciting to hear that wonderful drum line. I know that you all know that drum line well, and so I got a chance to talk with them. I met with, of course, the band, and then I attended the Petersburg Community Day event back in the beginning of August, and it was fantastic. A little hot, but it was wonderful. What you say? I did make National Night Out. We'll talk about that one in a minute. And so I attended, in addition to that, I attended the new teacher orientation. I wanted to make sure that I had a chance to talk with new teachers, welcome them to Petersburg, and thank them for choosing our division and asking them to stay. I got the opportunity to attend the Night Out Against Crime event with Board Chair Pritchett and some of the other board members, and so I got a chance to interact with lots of our community partners and understand, what support, and that we all are united against crime in the Petersburg City area. I also had a chance to go meet some of our staff. I got a chance to meet with our nutrition team to thank them and welcome them to the new year and to understand what they do every day to serve our kids. I got a chance to meet with our school nurses and welcome them back to school as well. And then, of course, I was able to worship at Yorkville Baptist Church with one of our board members. And so those are some of the things that I've done in the area of building trust and relationships with our stakeholders. Thank you. You say you may have this just a little bit. So there are some other things that are red that have not been started yet. They will be started within the second 60 days. But as you can take a look here, for within the first 30 days, it's yellow, so it's in progress. Host town hall listening sessions in person via Zoom, meetings with teachers, administrators, support staff, and other school-based staff and central services employees to understand what is working and what are our areas of stress and pain here in Petersburg. So what I've gotten an opportunity to do is I've conducted several small group listening sessions with our PCPS principals. I had small group listening sessions with our curriculum and instruction and our special education department teams to understand. I asked them a couple of things. What are our strengths here in Petersburg City Public Schools? Because you always need to start out with what's strong and not what's wrong. And then I wanted to better understand the challenges that we face here in Petersburg City Public Schools, which is very similar to other school divisions. And what are some of the things that we should start doing, stop doing, and continuing to do? And so I was able to have these charts filled with lots of information as I listened and learned from the principals and from some of our central office staff. And of course that is in progress, so that's why it's yellow, which means it'll eventually be green. And so we'll scroll through Ms. Yates, thank you. We can get to some workroom things and some yellow, and I can give them
But I will say this, I'm one of those persons because I was a parent here, a single father. I'm also one of those members. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna hold you accountable. I'm gonna argue, I'm gonna fuss, but when you pick up that phone, Mr. Christian, we need some help. Usually before you hang up the phone, I'm gonna be right there because I'm not that petty. So I'm gonna ask you a question that I asked a few others because everyone that's working in department heads, a lot of you all, I'm one of those parents that tell you, we've heard some of the same stories you all are putting out here, we've heard them before, and nothing has come to pass. As a member of this community, as a vocal member, former PTA citywide president, former Title I Advisory Council president, I'm going to ask you, we've heard a lot as to what the community should expect from you. But I don't know if anyone has ever asked you, what do you expect out of us? And I'm serious because, as I've said before, when I met Miss Kelly and Miss Winfield at AP Hill, our neighborhood association is undertaking partnering with them because most of the kids in our neighborhood go to that school, as well as Vernon Johns. And I will say this, one of the things that we as a community are going to do, we do like our phone calls returned when we're trying to find out about your school supplies or what do you need us to advocate for. So I'm saying that because I called Vernon Johns and I get no response from things. However, that doesn't stop me. But again, I'm going to ask you, what do you expect out of me, John Q. Public? Because number one, when I look at some of those things that you're talking, and I'm very impressed, which is hard to do, the one thing I want to make sure of is that when you're gone, and some of the other people who came with you are gone, that these things, number one, the effect will be felt. We can gauge, this is where we were, this is where we are. And then number two, who should ever come in and replace you and those persons who were with you when they leave, are they going to keep it going? Because if they're not.
Say thank you for asking the question. I have never been asked that question in any role, so not just this role. I think people typically, when you're looking at leaders, you want to know from the leader what should we expect from you. And so if I'm going to be honest, because one of the things I say to the board is I'm going to always be authentically myself. And I have to be in a job where I can be authentically me. And so what I'll say, the first thing I will ask you that I expect from you is to give me a shot. Not to see me as a previous superintendent, a previous person that was here. See me for who I am and my strengths, and not try to punish me because someone else made missteps in a process. That's as honest as I can be. And so that means stepping back and trusting as I build trust and giving me the space to do the things that I know that I can do, not because I said it, because my track record has laid it out. And because the biggest indicator of what someone will do in the future is what they did when in the past. And so that's the first thing. The second thing I'll say is that I'm absolutely okay with being held accountable, because that's what I've been my entire career, and I wouldn't be in Petersburg if I wasn't held accountable in every role that I held. I'll say is support the division. And so what I mean is we have enough negative press out there from others outside of our city and outside of this space. When we have disagreements and when we disagree with something, we need to understand how we work together to solve it and not get on the bandwagon of attacking our own home. Holding us accountable is one thing, but attacking and spreading things that are not true and creating this sense of the world is falling and the walls are falling down in Petersburg is not fair to, number one, our staff and students and our families. Because all we're doing is playing into the narrative that everything is broken. And I can tell you in 32 days, everything is not broken. Yes, we have challenges, but there are some great things happening. And as I heard about the billboard and all the things, so that's the first thing, is help us tell the positive side and work with us when there are things that have to be fixed. And give us time. Change takes 3 to 5 years. It does. If it was done, if it could be done overnight, everybody would do it. And that's just not the truth. The other piece is we have to work with our wonderful community, because I hear about distractions all the time. Distractions don't just come from what's happening in school, it comes out in the community. And so we're the community, we've got to wrap our arms around the notion that it takes a village. And it's not just Petersburg City Public Schools' job to educate kids. We are it. Virginia State is, we're the educational institutions. But it happens before they come to us. So you got to help us do this work, and you holding us accountable, you got to help us hold everybody accountable for this, because it is not the superintendent or acting cannot do it alone. And so again, I need you to help do that. And what I need you to do is to give me the chance to build trust. Give me the space to do this work. That's what I will say. And my team, as they continue to grow, they're here. And I'll be honest with you. There are leaders across the country who bring an entourage of people with them. You have not seen me bring an entourage of people from Atlanta, Georgia. I love Atlanta Public Schools, and there are great people who work there. But I brought people that I've seen their work, and I've interviewed people through the firm who are coming from Louisiana, DC, all over the country, coming to Petersburg, and my title is acting. That means they're coming here because they believe in what can happen here. And so I want you to know that give me the space and our team the space and work with us. Because the house doesn't burn down because of what happens outside. It's because of what inside. And so that's just what I'll say in 3 minutes so I can sit down. But I hope that when we come to you and say, hey, we need this, and even if you disagree and don't like the decision, don't kill us for it. That's what I would say. Thank you.
I told our acting superintendent, and I'm going to re-emphasize this again. There are a lot of things, and maybe you may not have wanted me to hear it, Mr. Pritchett. There are a lot of things that are going on with the school system that you all as board members cannot or may not be able to go directly to our city council. This is why I am going to impose upon each of the board members, even department heads, talk with us in the community so that we can take our fight. And when I say our, I'm talking about my school system. My kids are here, although my son is not here, he graduated, but my kids are here. And again, Madam Superintendent, all you have to do is talk to these members on this board I will take the fight to our city council. I did it as citywide PTA president. That lady back there dozing off, when she used to bring me here when I was a child, I spoke up for our school system. I told Mr. Pritchard I led a protest because I didn't like the lunch when I was at Virginia Avenue. My family integrated being D.M. Brown School. My brother, many of you know him as Dr. Lloyd Christian, was the first black student to go to D.M. Brown. So we in the community, we argue, we fuss about things even when we don't know because we don't know. And I promise you, even if it's just me, and again, I've been there, something going on like that, monies and stuff for our teachers, departments, let us know. We'll take that fight to you. Last but not least, let me say to Mr. Brown, he represented your school system well during our National Night Out. You all should applaud him, Ms. Davis. Thank you so much. He represented well. That's somebody you need to keep around. And last but not least, said this, the issue with the student handbook being online, not a good idea. From experience as a parent, you do better. Go ahead, let those parents get that hard copy because doing it online, again, I'm the parent. 9 times out of 10, I will go online quicker to find out what the number for the night is as opposed to finding out about that student handbook.
I am Apostle Mary Yvonne of Harvest Baptist Church. Together and in sharing, I left my card, alphabet, here I is. For addiction or good anointing. Absolutely. I'll work with you. Bye.